This is one of the little sunroom, atrium room inside the hostel that I stayed in San Diego in the Gaslamp Quarter. It's on the second or third floor. You can go up in there and sit with some natural light shining in. Uh, that's just one part of it you can see, but it's pretty cool. There's some sofas in there and stuff. You can and it's open to the sky, so you can get some fresh air and natural light. They have it closed in the evening though, so I was never able. I thought it would have been nice to go in there in the nighttime and sit for a bit, but it's not open for that apparently. But I didn't go in there too much, but I thought the decor of it was cool, so I definitely took some pictures of the inside there. This is the sidewalk outside the hostel, shot to the right, looking right as you go out the door. Just another example of uh, the streets of San Diego. And right here on the right bottom, might be blocked by my face, is a little outdoor seating for this coffee and bagel shop that is right next door to a hostel. And that little awning you see on the top right is some lofts where people live. There's lots of residential things down there, probably pretty pricey. Uh, I had a package delivered while I was at the hostel, and they misdelivered it to those loft condominium apartment things, and I couldn't get access to it because there's a locked door in the front leading out to the street. So I actually had to wait outside until a resident went in and said, "Hey, can you go inside by the mailboxes and look for my package?" And after standing there for about 30 minutes, I got someone to get me my package. So mission accomplished, disaster averted. But but yeah, right there by that railing of that bagel shop, I used to stand there and hang out and watch the people going by at night, because every single night, weekday, weekend, whatever, this whole area gets packed with people going toward where the camera is in this picture, and then past me about another half block, and that's like the heart of that's like Market and Fifth, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. Pretty much 7 nights a week. This is another view of the sidewalk outside the hostel, but standing closer to the intersection and taking the picture in that orange doorway with the little symbol, the blue triangle on top. That's the entrance to the hostel. I guess that's the Hosteling International's symbol in that little sign. That's what I said. You go in those doors, and it's just a small, like a little lobby. And once you check in, you get to an elevator. It takes you up to a floors, which are all nicely decorated. And there's actually a lot of guest, sleeping room quarters up in there for a place that appears to be not that big from the street. Just one little entrance. And over here with that red brick, and on the far right, there's an Italian restaurant right there. I didn't eat there or anything, but looked, pretty high end. It wasn't always crowded. If I ever wanted to eat there, I could have walked in and got a table anytime I wanted to. That would not have been an issue. But right there by that Italian restaurant, and then a little further down by that bagel shop, which you can see in the background, is where I'd hang out a lot of times in the evening. Sometimes even sit on that red brick sidewalk near the door of the hostel and just drink tea and people watch. There's an area down by the water where downtown San Diego, downtown, what you can see in the background there, meets the water, and it's called the Maritime Museum. There's all these old ships and things, different older ships, and there's an old submarine park there. Nothing real modern, but it's kind of cool. You pay admission, and then you can walk around on gangplanks to all the different ships, and some of the ships have a little museum set up, and they have some of the staterooms and cabin rooms set up the way they were back in the day. This ship, though, is the HMS Surprise, an old ship, apparently with a lot of history, but most notably, this ship was the actual ship used in the movie. I don't know when it came out, 2000, 2000, early 2000s maybe. I could be wrong about that. But the master and commander of it starred Russell Crowe. This is the actual ship it was filmed in. I don't know where it was before they filmed the movie. It might have been here, but they took this entire ship down to the coast of Mexico, out in the Mexican waters of Mexico in the ocean, to film that whole movie. And then after the movie, certainly, they brought it to San Diego, which would have been the closest big American city to Mexico, and now it's parked there permanently. You can walk all around it, like I said earlier, and go into different rooms. Now, in the statue there at the bow, there's even a scene from the movie after a battle scene when they're like fixing that and repainting it and stuff. It looks exactly the same. If you go to the captain's quarters area of the ship, which is recognizable from the movie, they had, I think they even have a violin in there laying on a table, opposed to, because they used to play, the captain and the surgeon in the movie used to play like classical music at night, duets. And so we have a violin in there. But there's also a flat screen TV hanging from the wall where they're showing the movie Master and Commander on like an eternal loop the whole time they're open. So you could, if you wanted to and had the time, and you got there right at the exact correct moment, you could sit there on the little pads they have against the very back of the boat and sit there and watch that entire movie. If you had, 2.5 hours to do nothing, and you could watch the movie on the boat that it was filmed in, which I guess is interesting in some respects. This is the La Jolla area, one part of the La Jolla area, which is a whole different, subsection of San Diego proper. This is down a little ways from the main part of it. I like those rock overhang things in the water. Now getting down to there's like a staircase you can go down. I had all my camera equipment with me, so I didn't go down to the water, but you can go down there and just sort of get lost in a little cove. Off to the right, at the top of this picture, that little sandbar, that's referred to as the children's beach. I have some closer up pictures of that, but it's a little beach that's protected by this seawall, cement seawall thing, on the other side of which is the entire Pacific Ocean, of course, but that is like a little protected area for children to go swim in, I guess. It's a nice little area, though. This is another part of La Jolla, just some rock formations. There's lots of little, they're not caves, but like little areas where the water from the ocean comes in and swirls around. They call them, I can't remember what they're called. This isn't one of the official ones, but something pool, like a tide pool. Yeah, that's what they're called. It just means a little area where the water goes in, might circulate a little bit, and then, go back out to sea. Yeah, if one were to go down in there, one of those little crevices, it would probably be kind of dangerous. But, wear some good shoes and watch out for slippery rocks. Probably be okay. But that's not a extremely interesting picture, but it's gives you an example of what the coastline La Jolla area looks like all the way down. Now, this picture is where things get more interesting in the La Jolla area. This would be La Jolla Cove proper, I believe it's called. I shot this from up on the upper part where the street and stuff is. So you walk downstairs. That's how those people got down there. But yes, you are seeing that correctly. That is a bunch of sea lions lounging around on the beach on rocks with people walking all around them, literally feet away. I mean, people were squatting down next to a pile of sea lions and having, taking selfies, or having a family member or friend take a picture with them. Not too many people had like photography equipment like I did, but they were just down there for the heck of it. But yeah, but that's just part of that, a little section of that La Jolla Hove, and you can see how many sea lions there are right there. There's a rock off to the left of this picture. I may have an included picture of, I'm not sure, that has a whole bunch of them that got away from the people are laying out on rocks. And then out in the water to the left where you can't see, there's a lot of people who are actually, bobbing in the water with scuba masks on and stuff, and they're actually ducking under the water because there are sea lions swimming out there. Not as many as are on the beach, but they're out there, and a lot of people just sit there and wade in the water or whatever, or tread water. I don't know what they're doing, but and then when a sea lion gets close, swims by, I guess that they go underwater and look at it. Some people probably have those little underwater cameras or something to try and get a shot of them. I certainly could not have done that. But if this is extremely unique. Now there's a sea lion pier something or other in San Francisco has this one little shopping area, and then there's these wooden man-made pier things out in the water where a bunch of sea lions hang out, and they're always there. But this is much more unique here in San Diego, where they're out in more of a natural environment and with people walking around them. The people can't get anywhere near sea lions where they are in San Francisco. So this is one of the most unique things about San Diego probably is going and hanging with the sea lions. So here, as promised, more closer up now of sea lions. Pretty much the same scene as the last picture, but zoomed in quite a bit. And they're just beached whales, aren't they? Beached mini whales, but they're sea lions. Not to be mistaken with a whale. But yeah, so I mean, you see an animal like this, a wild animal, and you think like, there's no way I can go anywhere near that thing. It's gonna, get up and rip my head off or something. But they're just, after so many decades or years or whatever, people milling around there, and they're on a beach that's literally right adjacent to a huge metropolis city. They're just, everyone's used to each other, I guess. But that's, like I said earlier, that's what makes it so cool too. You're literally right. You could go hang out with nature right there with sea creatures. So this is what I mentioned earlier. Another specific section of that whole La Jolla Cove, off the beachy part where the rocks are, and a bunch of the sea lions laying out on rocks. And this is not well away, maybe 50 yards or something away from that sandy area I've shown already. But it's these sea lions are on the rocks and away from the people. And those rocks are really slippery, but I'm sure they're used to, walking on them. They know what they're doing. Yeah, but that's kind of cool. But you can't get down there to this area, and that's probably why they're there. It's like a human-free zone for the sea lions to hang out in. Don't have to worry about people, and then they can, jump right in the water there if they want to. There's one, they're totally passed out. And the last picture of this part two, are just a shot of the water. I mentioned the sea lions are actively, swimming if they're not lounging around the beach, and these two are playing. They play around a lot, and then it's out deeper than that. This is sort of shallow. It's out deeper than this to where the people would be, bobbing up and down, waiting to go underwater and catch a view of them, submerged. But this is kind of cool. It was a close-up zoom shot at 210 millimeters. I zoomed in, which is the maximum zoom I think I I'm capable of with my equipment. And I got these two playing close up, which is kind of nice, I think. And the colors came out good. You can see the water and the dark rocks that are just underneath the surface of the water. So that concludes part 2 of this series, and there'll be a part 3, and I might even add more parts later on if I feel like it.